Hi everyone, our journal page, and I want to play today with some watercolors and stencils. Yes, you can do watercolors and stencils, and I'm working not on watercolor paper, I'm working on sketch paper. Why? Because when working with stencils and watercolors, I want the page to absorb the paint quickly and not travel on it. Now, it's not going to be precise, it's going to be very loose, so if it's something that you don't like, don't do it. Okay, so I wanted to start my background with some hexagons. I don't have a stencil of hexagons, but I do have punches in two sizes. So what I've done is I just punched them on some Bristol paper, and that's what I'm going to start with. I'm just going to use this as a stencil, and I'm starting with the large hexagon. I'm taking a brush with water. This watercolor kit, I don't even remember if it was AliExpress or Amazon. There is no brand, nothing. Just looked for a kit that I liked, and that's it. It really doesn't matter. So I want to play with all kinds of yellows and oranges for the start, and I'm just putting it down and working quite quickly. And I want to change colors in between because it's just more interesting for me like this. As you can see, it's with very, very soft edges. That's what I wanted, and that's why I'm using this technique. If you don't like it, you can do the same thing with acrylics and stencils. I just wanted this soft look. So I'm going to do this stenciling, and I'm going to change in between all kinds of yellows and oranges, and maybe even some ochre. Why not? Let's do some ochre here, and let's take this, just playing around. And I don't even care if I have smears in all kinds of places. I'm just putting it down, and whatever goes goes. You see, and if it's connects, I don't care. It's part of the background, and that's the purpose. It has to be, well, it doesn't have to be, but I wanted it like this, very soft and not precise. So that's what I want to put this kind of hexagon here. I'm thinking of layering on top of it with the little hexagon, and I will show you. Maybe, let's see, yeah, I think like this. And let's take a darker color. Too much, so I'm adding more water, and that came out just like a blob. Never mind, just observing the excess, and that's what happens when I take too much water. Here we go. Once again, because it's still wet, but never mind. I should have waited for the first layer to be to dry and then do this, but I'm going to keep at it. Really doesn't matter to me. I know that some don't like this kind of thing, so I'm just continuing doing this, and later on I'm going to switch to real stencils. These, as you can see, are just plain paper, and we'll do the same thing. So this section here I'm thinking hexagons, and this section here I want some flowers. So I went and took out two stencil I have. I've got this, I don't know, let's call it a daisy, and I've got this one, which again I want to just layer out on this section. The same thing I've done with the hexagons, and just putting down some color. Now, because this is plastic, in between I'm going to wipe the excess paint and the water, otherwise I will have a lot of smears all over. So that's what I'm going to do. Just take each time a different flower and stencil and just layer it out. Now you can do this if you want with, if you have sprays, that's another way to go about it. Here we go, not bothering of being precise. It's all going to come to some kind of a background. So I'm going to continue doing this. It's going to take me some time. And one more thing, if you don't like it at all, you can take painty papers, scrap papers, and start cutting hexagons and putting them in, or using a punch if you have it. Same thing with the flowers, or if you want something else. That's what I'm going with today. So I'm going to continue this and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back now. Just before we continue, another way to go about it, if you still want a soft effect but a more precise outcome, then you can use distress inks with the stencils. Just take it over and the stencil, and you make your whatever, the same kind of background. I really like that it's free, that the watercolors just travel a little bit, but not too much. So that's my background. Now I want to go and make some focal points, and I want this bee that I have here in the stencil. I've taken another sketch paper from this journal, and I want to do this kind of image. Now I'm going to do this in the same technique as I've done here, so that means I will get a not precise, crisp image. And again, you can just change and do what feels right for you. So let's see, what colors do I want here? I have this color, which is some kind of metallic, I don't know, it has some kind of a green to it, I don't know, but it's very dark. So, well, I'm starting with this and just coloring on the inside. Another way, I'm just going to give you more and more ways to go about it. You can take a very fine pointed marker, trace the image, and then color on the inside if that's what you want. Right now I'm just going about it the same way I've done with the other stencils. So let's see, maybe I'm taking this ochre, and I'm not even cleaning my brush. So I'm getting all kinds of in-between shades. And now I'm cleaning just a little bit here. Okay, wings. Let's see, I think I'll take this color. as you know me, I don't like solid colors, so now I'm going to dip into this color and just add a little bit to the wings, like so. Continuing, you can even use a felt pens if you want. Like if I want a more precise, I don't know what to call them, antennas for my bee, I can just make them with a felt pen. So here it is my bee, and I think I'm going to do 2 more. So I'm going to do the 2 more and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've got 3 bees here, and before I'm fussy cutting them, I want to give them a little bit more definition. I'm going to take this felt pen. This is a kit from Amazon, yes. And I just, again, no special brand, no nothing, just a double-sided felt pens, and that's it. So I'm using the fine point, and I'm just going to go loosely like so, and with a double line. I really want everything to look very, very I don't know what to call it, but this I'm doing on purpose, this squiggly line. I think the antennas will, I'll draw them after I will fussy cut and glue these bees to my page. So that's all I'm going to do, just go very, very loosely around the image. And then I have the joy of fussy cutting the 3 bees. What can you do? Now, if you're asking yourself why I haven't done the 3 bees directly on the page, is because I wanted them to stand out, because this is watercolor, and if I've done it directly, it will just go into the background. So that's the reason I've done them on a separate page. So I'll be back when I'm finished doing this. I'm thinking that maybe I will add more color in between, just to solidify the body of the bee, but right now I'm just leaving it be, and if I feel it needs more, then I will add it later. I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my freebies. I really like them, but I still feel like the background needs something a little bit more. So first I'm putting them to the side. I think I'm going to stamp. I've got a silicone trivet with hexagons, beehive pattern, and I'm taking this spiced marmalade distress ink. I don't know how much it will show on the page, but I prefer to start with this and move on to something darker if needs be. And I'm just putting it here, and let's see. I don't want it complete. I just want a hint of it in several places where the beehive is. I hope it will add some interest. And you know what, I'm going to continue and stamp it in several places where the flower is. Flowers. problem is I can hardly see what I'm doing because this is orange on orange. Okay, and I want to add some text to the background, and let's see. So I've got this stamp. Don't really care what it says. I just want something in the background. I love any kind of text in the background. Really doesn't matter what. And once again, I'm thinking what color. I have crushed olive, but it's very subtle. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll stamp it here. Oh, it's okay. So I thought it would be more like a lime green, so yeah. I'm putting it down quite randomly on the page. That's it. So once again, back to the bees, and let's put some glue in the back. Using silicone glue just because it's easier for me. It doesn't really need silicone glue because it's just a piece of paper. Oops. Next. Maybe a little bit higher. It's a good thing I can still move with this glue. It's not that fast. It's fast, but not that fast. Okay, so let's do some whimsical antennas. And once again, I'm doing a double line, so it would look the same as the squiggly line I've done around the image, like so. And now I just want to give it a little bit more definition. What I'm going to do is, I don't want to use anything wet, so I'm going to take this is a 10B. Anything from 6B and higher up is good. I'm going to take this 10B pencil, and I'm going to go like this underneath each of the bees. And what I'm doing is doing something like drop shadow underneath each image. Now I've got some glue here, so it's giving me trouble. Now it won't stay like that. I'm going to smear it. Now I'm just laying it down. So you see underneath the wings and underneath the body. Very loose. Okay, so I've got this, and let's see, where did I put it? Here. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. You use it in a pencil drawing, and it just help you smear, and basically you go and just blend it until it disappears into your the rest of the background. That's the best explanation I can give you. I've got some glue here, so it's giving me trouble, but that's okay. Of course, I can also use watercolor pencils, but I didn't want to start with something wet right now on this page. And of course there is the Stabilo all-purpose that can also be activated with water, and the best thing about it, about the Stabilo all-purpose, is you can use it on almost, I think, any surface. So even if I have glue here and it's giving me trouble with the smearing, I can switch to the Stabilo all-purpose and do it with it. But I don't really care enough for it right now. That's just enough what I'm doing. I really just like how it looks. Again, it's a very soft effect that goes with the rest of the page. I didn't want anything harsh, and you blend it until you feel it's soft and going with the rest of the page, because we went with a very soft imaging in the background and the focal image. I can also get inside if I want to, in between the wings if I want to, so you can really play with it. So I thought at first I will add more color here, but I like how it looks, so I'm leaving it be. That's my page. I hope you liked it. I hope you'll try your hand at doing some watercolor through stencils. So I wanted just to show you, I was playing with a stencil and watercolors. I just wanted to show you another how you can make more embellishments and focal points and how lovely it looks. So that's another way to go about it. And I've made more flowers, so, and went with a felt pen around, so now I can fussy cut them and have a lot of stuff to play with. Okay, so this is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.